Agriculture plays a crucial role in the economy of Uganda. It is the main source of food, income and employment, especially to the rural population. Over 80% of Ugandans depend on agriculture for their livelihoods, either directly or indirectly. Despite its importance, the agriculture sector in Uganda is not highly developed. It faces several challenges which include land fragmentation, lack of farming inputs, quality seeds, modern farming skills, markets for the produce, funding, pests, erratic weather conditions, lack of information, to mention just a few. Most of the people are still engaged in subsistence farming, with some families not able to even produce enough food for their consumption. Others just do it as a routine because they don't know that agriculture can be taken on as a business. The Uganda government, through various programs, has increased funding to the agriculture sector. Many other organizations have also joined in this effort. Indeed, in the last 20 years, commercial agriculture has been on the increase, although a lot is still needed. Vision Group strongly believes that the provision of information can have a positive impact on the agriculture sector, consequently improving people's livelihoods and the national economy. This belief culminated into promoting agriculture on various media platforms of the group with an aim of improving agriculture in Uganda.
In a developing country like Uganda, the role of the media should be to support development. That's what Vision Group has done for the last 2.5 decades. We've supported the development of Uganda. We believe at Vision Group that if we are to sort out any unemployment issues in the country, the best place to return to is to what God has given us, our land. And for us to be relevant to our audiences and to national development, we need to encourage farming and agriculture. It's for that reason that each of the Vision Group platforms, radios, newspapers, TVs, will devote some space to encouraging agriculture, to showing farmers, to showing Ugandans how they can make money out of farming.
In another effort, Vision Group, supported by her partners, embarked on a drive to search for 10 progressive farmers from all over the country in what was dubbed Uganda's Best Farmers Competition.
The real purpose was to create a more positive perception of farming in this country. And the reason you want to do something like that is because you want more people to see farming as a noble activity and something from which they can earn a good living. And in order to do that, you need to get them to believe and to see that there are people who are benefiting greatly. If we do that, in the short and medium term, farming is the one activity that can employ vast numbers of people in Uganda. So we felt that our own small contribution to farming is to present it in a manner that is noble, that is positive and can be celebrated. So that people can see that there are farmers who are doing well and they are normal Ugandans, ordinary people who started small and have become very successful.
We started this project in January this year. We had like 3 objectives, but the main one was to encourage farmers to realize that they can make money from agriculture, because we've seen in this country that many people are doing farming, but they are doing it at subsistence level. So we thought that if we try to show people that farming, one, is a job, they can make money from it, that they can find employment. So we said that we're going to showcase successful farmers so that other people can learn from them. That is one. The other thing was also to recognize successful farmers who are already doing commercial farming and making money out of it, employing people and using modern practices that other farmers can learn from. Third objective was also basically to show that farming is an activity that all Ugandans can use to develop the country.
The idea was supported by the Royal Netherlands Embassy, DFCU Bank and KLM Airlines.
It was something we knew we couldn't do on our own. The Royal Dutch Embassy generously agreed to take 10 farmers to the Netherlands for a study tour to see how farming is done there. And you know, the Netherlands is a very advanced farming country. Then the FCU Bank people agreed to put aside some money, 150 million shillings for prizes, plus some money towards the organization of the final event. And the DFCU Bank was quite generous because they want that money that you will use to buy equipment that is relevant for your business. If the money is not enough, DFCU will offer you a loan to top it up, and then you buy whatever it is that you want. KLM graciously agreed to give us some sponsorship in that direction and be able to take the farmers to Europe. So it's been a very good partnership. I mean, it's just, you know, one bank, one country, one airline. Makes so much sense. And then for us, we put in well over 1 billion shillings worth of media airtime to create the awareness, which would benefit also our partners.
The Netherlands Embassy decided to be a partner in this Best Farmers competition because of the fact that we see the enormous potential in the agricultural sector in Uganda and the complementary role that the Netherlands can play in furthering the modernization of the agricultural sector in Uganda.
I think it is important that we all as a community, but also as a business community, will pay more and more attention to the farming and to the whole farming industry. I've understood farming is a little bit backward. There is not a lot of commercial farming. So the more and more we can develop farming in this country, I think the better it is for the country. And then as KLM, I think it is important that you also do something for the community.
With all this support in place, the team responsible for the implementation of the project got started. They formulated a work plan.
We put out announcements on all our platforms, on radio, TV, and the newspapers, asking our audiences, members of our audiences, to nominate farmers they think are successful. And then we also urged farmers themselves, say that if you think you are doing a good job, please nominate yourself. After the nominations, what we did, we would screen them, then send out our reporters to make an assessment whether these farmers are worth profiling or not. Then we would follow up with a profile, write about them, and then publish their story in the newspaper or run their stories on TV and radio for our audiences to learn.
The competition targeted small and medium-scale commercial farmers from 10 regions of the country. A team of 5 distinguished agricultural experts was selected, and these formed a panel of judges. They assembled at Vision Group headquarters and embarked on the task of reviewing the profiles. A total of 1,809 nominations were received and profiled on all Vision Group's media platforms. One best farmer was selected from each region to compete at the national level. The selected 10 then competed for the top 3 positions. The judges strictly followed the set guidelines.
The overall criteria were mainly impact, that is how a farmer was impacting on the surrounding farmers, and then the second criteria was the productivity. But there were other criteria like innovation and technology, environmental management, the farming practices. Then we also had the criteria of family involvement, how does a farmer involve the family, so that the business is seen to be for the whole family and not for an individual in a family.
Basing on the mentioned criteria, the judges selected over 20 farmers and physically visited them to ascertain what they had seen in their profiles. We traveled with the judges, and here we bring you what the top 10 farmers actually do.
Profession, I'm a soldier. Colonel by rank. I retired in 2007. Then I had to plan what to do after retirement. My option was farming. Initially, I was doing mixed farming, I had beef cows, Boran, Roko Angore cows, mixed up with the Frisian cows. But I realized that it was not commercial. So in 2007, I decided to approach farming on a commercial line. My farm is not quite big. It's only 450 acres. At the moment, I have 10 workers, 1 cook, and 2 managers. 1 manager in charge of cows, and 1 manager in charge of cow feeds. All the technology I have is in my head, but I've consulted people with technical know-how. They're advising me on how to improve on the herd and even cow feeds. I have interest on farming. It is my hobby. I was born from a cattle keeping family. I'm a cattle keeper by birth. I like it and I enjoy it. That's what has contributed to my major success. By the time I retired, I did not get any money from government. The money I'm using even now is from my head. I use my head. No facilitation from anybody. It's just interest. The general challenges are on tick control. Not everybody around this area uses the same formula as I'm using. Now I have another challenge coming up. I'm getting so many farmers who come to visit, who want to know how to improve on their farms. I want to tell my fellow serving officers in the army, police and prisons, civil servants, that there is life after retirement. After retirement, you must try to use your head. You must try to compete with the rest of the population, other than taking most of the time for Worokoso meetings and you end up having loose stock. Thank you very much.
This is Kaukubuirenga, Nabukela Close. The farm is called Nabukela Farm. We have fish in raised ponds. We call them raised smart ponds. We have pigs, banana plantation, which is on 25 decimals or 1/4 acre. We have vegetables, passion fruit. We have also fodder, hydroponic fodder for animals. And we also have space for cattle. The farm is on 1 acre, and all those enterprises I've mentioned sit on that 1 acre. Total, we have 2 workers, but in the piggery, it's basically family that is in the piggery. That's my husband. Then the rest of the farm enterprises are managed by 2 casual workers who we call in when need be. We embrace technology. One of the reasons why the farm has many projects, yet it's small, but the projects are productive, is because we embrace technologies like the matoke. We do manual irrigation, but also one can do drip irrigation. The vegetables and fruits, the passion fruits are on drip irrigation. The vegetables are on greenhouses, are also on drip irrigation. Then we have hydroponic fodder. Hydroponic fodder is where animal food is grown in 6 days. So we have hydroponic fodder. Then we have aquaponics in the other ponds for the fish, where we are growing tilapia, at the same time growing strawberries and beans. We also harvest hair for animals. And then also the pigs have a special farrowing house where we have the farrowing crate, and we also use the nipple system to give them water. Here we do integrated farming. So this integrated farming, that each project that is here feeds into the other. Take for example, the fish. We get the water from the catfish, and that water, we use it to irrigate the vegetables. We use poultry dung to make algae for the fish, and then the water from the fish, we use it to irrigate most of our vegetables and the banana plantation. And again, the dung we have from the pigs, we still use it to make biogas. The slurry that comes from the dung is what we take back to the garden in the bananas. And the biogas, we use it in form of energy to cook. You could use it to light or run electrical appliances. We also have earthworms, red earthworms, that we use to prevent aphids or any pests from attacking our plants. So most of the things here are organically produced. Mainly there are 3. I've been patient with the enterprises I'm doing. I'm passionate about what I'm doing and I persevere. Take for example, I really love pigs. I'm passionate about all the other things I do as well. And then of course, embracing technology. Most of these things, if you don't embrace technology, at times they're tedious. And another thing is that I'm really involved. I don't let other people do the work for me. The biggest challenge we have is swine fever when it comes to piggery. The other challenge is farm inputs. Some farm inputs are not right, they are maybe fake. So actually for us, most of our things, we get them from Kenya, because we've noticed that when we get things from Uganda, like take for example, if you don't get seeds from Balton and you get them from some companies in Uganda, don't give us the good quality seeds. So you either get them from Balton, which is expensive, or we go ahead and import them from Kenya. I've kept pigs for 9 years, and in those 9 years, actually, I went back for my master's. It's the pigs that made me do my master's. I opened up a clinic, still using money I got from the pigs. I run and I maintain my family on money from my farm. And even part of the money I'm using to build the school, I get it from the rest of the farm. So I think it is paying. The matoke and the vegetables, we just sell them the way they are. But the pigs for pork, we've started actually doing cuts or pork chops. So those ones that we sell to other restaurants and individuals. If you want to get money out of farming, you have to get good quality genetics, the genetics that is growing very fast, so that you get your animals or your plants ready very fast. And then management. Farming should be taken as a business, so people should make sure they tend to their farms every single day. Farming is jealousy. If you don't give it time, then you're not going to actually get something out of it.
On my farm, I have a number of enterprises. I would call this one a mixed farm because I have animals and I have the crops. I have 2 crossbred cows, I have 4 oxen, and I have 2 local cows. I grow cassava, I grow granules, maize, beans, millet. The land that is about 3 to 3.5 acres. That is even including where the home. I simply contract people. I don't have any permanent workers. Maybe the person I can call permanent is one girl who comes every day to help me check on the gardens, maybe also make the compost. Then maybe one person who helps me with grafting. I am one farmer who knows that the only gain I can get is from the soil, and I have to make sure that my soils are kept, managed very well. So one way of doing that is I make sure that I make a lot of compost, because my soil is almost barren. Most of it is sandy. So I make sure that I have compost. I also make sure that I have liquid manure. So the compost is the first fertilizer, which I use for growing everything. The liquid manure is the second fertilizer. Where I see that there's some problem here, I will take the liquid manure to help clear the problem which is there. Where I see that I think the crops are yellowing, I will always have that there. If you want the plant to feed you, then you must feed it, which means you have to continually keep feeding the soil that feeds that plant. I try to make sure that I have back gardens where I can produce vegetables even during the dry season. I have back gardens, kitchen gardens, mandala gardens, and we have vegetables on them. I keep every record for every enterprise that I do. I have a milk record for the cows. I have a crop production records for each crop. If it's cassava, how much did I use? What was the cost of the cuttings? Then what about planting? What about opening the land? What about weeding? Now, all that I'll put down so that for each enterprise, then I will know even eventually, even after, I will now be able to say that, okay, I spent this much to produce this. Now, I've sold it at this amount. What profit have I got? So that one even enables me to choose which enterprises to put here. So like you can see, some crops, I have more gardens under such crops. Then some I put lower acreage, because the other ones that have more acreages give me more profit. I've already worked it out. And you can only be able to do that if you follow a strict record. Even when people come to weed, like the oranges, from this season to the other one, I'm saying, how much have I spent? I sprayed, I weeded the garden, and then I also did added compost. How much did I spend? How much have I got? What is the balance? What is the profit? So I keep all those records. Even on training, I keep how many people have come, they stayed for how long, how much money did they bring in. Now I remove what I used and then I get the profit like that. I have managed to make an area which was barren. I've managed to make it fertile again. I have also managed to create a training center where people come and get knowledge and skills. Whatever we produced in this farm, the middlemen are the people to benefit. In actual fact, the farmer, does not benefit much because they will come like the bag of oranges, they will keep the bag to a very abnormal height and they will only give you 30, maybe to 40,000, or maybe 50 if you are lucky.
What I'm doing here is I've set up a demonstration farm of passion fruit, 0.4 of an acre. I have pineapples, 10,000 suckers in 1.4 acres. Then I have banana, a mix of matoke, bogoya, gonja in 1.8 of an acre. Those are 580 suckers. This one I set purposely for two things. One, to train the farmers, these three items, how to get a monthly income for the family. So far we have trained more than 2,000 farmers here. So I would expect most farmers from Lango sub-region to learn from here so that they have a monthly income for their family. Secondly, is to also to bring me some income for the family, my own family. So here alone, in a month, I expect to get 5 million from these three items. The challenges I face here is one, you have seen from the passion fruits there, some of the diseases that affects it, but we are trying to work on it. Then there is also problem of rain, but we have also got an idea by providing manure, because this manure, we have a lot of cow dung in Lango sub-region here. So if you put enough manure around the bananas or around the plants, when it comes to dry season, it's enough to serve the crop up to the end of the dry spell. One is that I've been able to mobilize farmers to come for training here, and they are positive about whatever they get here. That's the biggest achievement I've made. And you as a media has also helped me. New Vision, the Urban TV. Whenever I go to Kampala, people are approaching me to find out what exactly human is doing. I say, come and visit me. Then you learn more. The main achiever house is now, I've sold suckers here already. And more suckers, as you are seeing, is still there. So my only appeal to you, the media and the rest, is that if you can sell me to the Ministry of Agriculture, I know they will be buying the planting material from all corners of the country. So as far as banana is concerned, as far as pineapple is concerned, we are going to have suckers here. So there is no need of bringing suckers to Lango from another place. And it's not true that bananas does not grow in Lango. You have seen from these ones here, it can actually do better than these other regions.
Well, I do a range of activities, basically horticulture, where I do cabbages, onions, tomatoes, climbing beans, and I've also got into apple production. In my 3 years of farming, I've been able to install an automatic irrigation infrastructure system on 2 acres. It has about 41 sprinklers, and that specific farm only targets off-season farming. When farmers, traditional in Uganda, a lot of farmers wait for rain, they become busy. But once drought sets in, they fold their hand as they wait for the next season. That's the time when I come, and that's when it's real true business. I have introduced planting of unique hybrid seeds. For example, in onion, I only need 1 kilo of onions to get 20 tons, and that's only an acre. So from an acre in less than 4 months, I earn not less than 20 million in a season. And then too, owing to the undulating terrain of our landscape in Sebei, there is a lot of soil erosion. So I have dug trenches and contours on my garden. It has 2 advantages. One, I have enough water because the trenches hold water, so I don't mind so much about weather changes. in order to be successful as a farmer, you must understand where you're coming from and where you're going. For example, I'll tell you that for an acre of onions, for example, in order to get those 20 tons, I invest about 3 million. I exactly know that clearing and preparing an acre of land in order to plant onions, I need about 300,000. I need about 100 kilograms of DAP fertilizer. I need about 100 kilograms of NPK fertilizer. I need about 2 kilograms of fungicide. I need about 2 liters of, pesticide. So I know with my bookkeeping, I know the direction I'm taking and I know where I'm going. Like I usually say, I'm an educated young farmer. I went to school and I wouldn't really do farming that my dad and my forefathers did some 20 years, some 30 years back. For example, my dad used to be a prominent maize farm, but now in my age, I realized horticulture was where the money was. Especially if you adopt hybrid plant, for example, the Jamba onion F1, the Anna tomato variety, you need a small area to harvest maxima. And in just 90 days, you're getting money into your pocket. So as opposed to past practices where our farmers predominantly did maize, I've started a campaign, they've seen it from me, that within just 3 months, you're able to earn $1 million and put it in your pocket. Yeah, so people are getting out of maize production into horticulture. Well, there are quite a number of achievements. I have met people that I wouldn't have imagined I would have met because of my good farming practice. I've been able to buy land. I've bought more than 200 acres of land on the low plains of Sebei, and I plan to go commercial in the next couple of years. I'm just looking forward to getting machines. Then I get into that league of commercial level farming. But one thing that I'll not forget to tell you, half an acre of land is enough to produce 20 million shillings. So commercial farming can also be done at the micro level. Accessing finance. You know, many of us young farmers don't have collateral. At our level, we don't have land titles. 2, we have a huge challenge of infrastructure. Our roads are pathetic. For a farmer to access the market, it's an uphill task. Challenge number 3. Prices of agro inputs in Uganda are very, 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 very high and exorbitant compared to our neighboring countries like Kenya. And yet we are living in times when we are aspiring for the East African common market. Definitely our brothers from Kenya will outcompete us, we shall not compete against them. And then adulteration of agro inputs. When you go to a shop, an agro supply shop, here in Uganda, especially in Kapchora, the chances that you bought fake is more than 90%. So it's a huge cancer. People are making losses because of fake fertilizer, fake fungicide, fake pesticide, yeah, and a range of that.
Our core business is growing fruits, avocados, mangoes, and jackfruit. We sell them fresh, but at the same time, one of the biggest business line is we are grafting seedlings for sale. We have a lot of enterprises we've mixed into the fruit farm. We have animals. We have sheep as one of our major animal on the farm because sheep do very well into fruits. They graze very well into the fruit farm. We have over 200 sheep. Then currently we have 60 goats on the farm, and then we have 6 cows, and the cows are mostly for biogas. This farm is 60 acres of land. The second branch of the farm, which is located in Bukedde district, Nankoma sub-county, is 1,004 acres, located over 6 villages. One time we also managed to put up water tanks up that are able to irrigate our nursery bed, so that it is something we have innovated where you put up water and it runs down by gravity. And then at the same time, if you look at our animal village, find in a small house there are about 6 animals. That's not what everybody does. And also the way we are cultivating here, we farm as a forest. Our fruit farm is like a forest. On the farm, when we are off season, we employ 20 people. These are 13 women and 7 men. When we are in season, that is twice a year, we step up our employment and we bring in part-time people and also casual laborers, and we can employ up to 60 people. We are using sustainable farming practices on this farm. One and most is farming as a forest. We are preserving the trees, the herbs, and they are mixed up with the fruits that we plant. We need water. We want to grow off season. The water we are trapping now is not enough. We need many small dams to irrigate, and we are able to have produce throughout the year. The other issue is our neighbors, especially this peri-urban area, Jinja, There is a lot of theft. People want to get in the farm, whether you put a fence, they want to break the fence, they come and harvest your fruits. We are here on the farm, we are producing. The fruits are there. When you come, you'll see them and you'll eat them and taste them. I think that's one of our major achievements. We have the land, we can expand because we have over 1,064 acres of land. And then we've managed to expand and go beyond just farming. The fact that we are working with the communities around us, people are using the land to grow their crops. We have school communities we are working with. I think those are also major factors that we feel we have achieved because we are not farming alone, we are farming as a village and as a community. One of the major reasons that I would say that is crucial is that we love farming. We came to farming 2000 when everybody still wanted a white-collar job, but we realized that our talent and passion lies in farming. So it's a passion, it's something you must do when you love. We also have the market, and in Bukedde, we are living in the Lake Victoria region. We have a huge market up to Kenya, we go up to Southern Sudan. We have many people living on the islands within Lake Victoria, and then schools are such a huge market for us for fruits. When you go farming, you must have passion, and you must be very persistent and love what you do. There is money in farming if you focus and you know which strategy to use.
We have concentrated on cassava because my wife Rose and I thought if you're going to do anything, you better do it to a big scale to be able to realize some profit. The size of this land is actually 300 acres, which is, as you can see, fully developed with cassava. On this farm we have 25 because most of the work is mechanized. With a big farm like this, if you use human labor, by the time you go to the end, as you come back, the whole thing is already messed up. We've looked for a way of chipping the stems and the leaves and then the peels from the tubers. And we've got a very nice animal feed. Now, the animal feed that is prevailing in the country is from maize, which is of a very low quality. Now, farmers are having a problem, and we are trying to encourage people to adopt this animal feed. Determination and belief. Decide to do something and don't do it by remote control. Get involved. Make sure you consult the professionals, like my mentor is Dr. Boa in Namlonge. One, we've made money and we have given jobs to our people. We must avoid individualism. Individualism is not going to help us. If you have a small piece of land, I have a small piece of land, he has a small piece of land, we do it together, the product is a lot.
I have started farming of grafting in 2002, at the time when NAD's program started in our region here. I'm doing nursery management in which I'm grafting mangoes, oranges, passion fruits, avocados, and raising seedlings of hybrid pawpaws, jackfruits, and many others. In my garden, I have 3 acres of mangoes, then 1 acre of oranges, 2 acres of coffee, in which I'm getting good earns, good money from. In a